I met a guy that told me that he prepared for making videos. He bought a microphone, a camera, a lens, and also he made a studio to just simply record his first video. He prepared as hard as he could. He spent probably $1,000 on it, and he didn't record any single video. He didn't record none of them. Literally zero. He tried to learn and then start, rather than starting and then learning in the way. You see, I'm recording on a cheap $1 microphone from AliExpress on my camera from iPhone, and you are watching it right now, even though I don't have this perfect setup. Just put a lamp here, and that's pretty much it. I made more than 100 videos already with this equipment, in this environment, and he made zero. First of all, we don't value things that much that we could. That's the first one, the first lesson that it teaches me. But the second one is you don't prepare for something that is unknown to you. I was listening to a podcast with Alex Formosi on modern wisdom, and he said that if they would ask me to do the perfect podcast from the first time, rather than doing quantity, I would probably couldn't do it because I would simply would not know what is good podcast if I would spend unlimited amount of time on it. There was a study at Claypots when they split the groups of students into two, and they said to them, okay, so the first group should make the best clay pot they could from the first try. Only one clay pot should be made as the best. And the other group was told that just do the quantity, just do as many as you could. And you know what? The second group win the competition. They made the better clay pot because they started with mediocrity, with repetition, with not something perfect, with, just commodity. Whereas they had a thought that they should become a pros in one thing. There is a saying that you need to spend 10,000 hours on something to master it. And if you would probably just preparing 10,000 hours for a YouTube video, you would be a master of preparation, of setting up camera, of checking the microphone, editing, but you won't be good in recording because you never hit a record button ever in your life. I'm talking from the perspective of a YouTube video, and I'm showing you right now currently, I don't have any script. I didn't plan this video at all, that you could do it. Whether it is your first video or your fifth, you could do it. And it's not only about YouTube videos. You can use it in your life too, connected with your studies. If you never did this subject, this topic, some kind of exercises, how can you be good at it if you never did it? You don't have a skill set because you simply didn't repeat the same stuff. This is how the memory works in our brain. If you would expose ourselves with information hundreds of times, you wouldn't be that learning from it. Exposure of information doesn't mean that you learn. If it is not learning, it is when you take something out of your memory, that's when you learn. It is when you repeat something, the same thing from your memory, that's when you remember it. The exposure of information doesn't mean that you learn. The watching of 100 videos on YouTube doesn't mean that you good at self-improvement, doesn't mean that you did something productive. It is action. It is when you implement it into your life. That's when. Anyways, the second topic is wealth. I was reading the book Almanac of Naval Ravikant, and he said that wealth is a skill set, that it is not something that you were born with. It is something that you achieve by doing the things, the right things, which is basically doing the right things with the right people in the right time. This is why you should ask yourself these questions. What you do right now, with whom do you live? And is this the best time to do it? This is the trendy content that exists. I could only speak from the perspective of YouTuber because this is my main purpose, to help the younger me. This is my main focus and the priority. This is why I speak in that way. But you also can reflect on it from the other points of views. I recently thought to myself, I was watching Hustler University from Andrew Tate, and he's speaking about business. And I was thinking, okay, if I would start a business, this would probably work. The first key, speed. The second key his work with family, something like that. Anyways, I never thought from the perspective of me, but from the perspective of changing identity of me. It's when I started to think about it as YouTuber. So how can I implement speed into my YouTube videos? How can I implement working with someone else, with students, into my YouTube video? It is when you improve. It is when you use it in your situation. And the wealth of skill set simply because you do it in the right way. The man that will drop, the rich man that will drop in the middle of nowhere, and he would speak the language of this country where he would be dropped, he could easily acquire his richness in 5 years if he is wealthy, if he has a wealth mindset. If he don't, the rich guy that don't acquire his wealth, being in the middle of nowhere with £0 in his pockets or $0, meaning that he is rich but not wealthy. He doesn't have the knowledge to return it. Maybe he was lucky to become a rich guy. Maybe he had a family. Maybe he were stealing the money, or in many ways. But this is what you need to stick on. Seek wealth, not the money or the status. Now the money, like I said already, you can be rich but not wealthy, and this is not a good position to be in. Because if you lose your money, you would not acquire them. The status game is the zero-sum game. It is the game of our grannies, granddads. It is the game of the people that say, I don't need money. The money is evil. It is the game when you play just to be higher in the social hierarchy. It is when you try to be a number one. But to be a number one, you need to move this guy that were already number one to the place of two. We are social creatures, absolutely. We need social connections. We need to be, this is why it happens, these buildings and this, what people created, technology, internet, etc., etc. It is simply because there was a social hierarchy, there was CEO, and then after him, some accountants, programmers, this is the status game. It is when you want to become CEO because you want to simply manage people, not because you want to acquire the skill set of wealthy person, just because you want to be the higher in the hierarchy of the social life. If you want to go to become a CEO because of money, this is when you play the money game. This is when you acquire the money. This is when you work hard to become the CEO, to acquire the money, not the skill set. You just work hard, and after that, you just work like a CEO. So basically, seeking wealth is the best thing to do, because you can acquire money even if you lose them. And you probably would lose them by spending it in the wrong way. Thank you for watching this video. Don't be nice, be good. See you next one. Wow, bang.